what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here, and when I'm filming this right now, Wes Craven was celebrating a birthday, and I miss him. I'm sure a lot of you guys miss him too, and so I decided, why not revisit The People Under the Stairs? I could have gone to Nightmare on Elm Street. I could have gone to, Scream or a few others. I thought about going to Serpent in the Rainbow, but, I talk about that one more frequently than some others. Last House on the Left, I could have gone to Hills of Ice, but I wanted to go to The People Under the Stairs. I was just compelled to revisit this one today, and I don't know that I've ever talked about this on my channel, so I thought, in memoriam of Wes Craven, let's talk about The People Under the Stairs. This movie, I have a great history with. I remember when I started getting into horror, Wes Craven was a guy that I initially started researching, and I knew him from, obviously, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sure that soon after that I realized, okay, Wes Craven did Scream, and so I started to rewatch Scream through that kind of lens. I probably revisited some of his older stuff, The Hills Have Eyes, which is one of my favorite 70s flicks, Last House. And then I remember when I looked into him, I was like, The People Under the Stairs, that has a very interesting ring to it. So I picked up a DVD of it. And when I looked at the DVD cover, I had no idea really what to expect. I thought it was going to be this serious type of horror movie. And the thing about The People on the Stairs is it's kind of is, but it's also really black comedy almost to me. But then it's also really serious. It's got, obviously, a political undertone to it. Wes has a point of view he's expressing. And it's got a lot of elements to it. And I really, really liked it. And I remember when Scream Factory put out this Blu-ray of it, I was over the moon excited because I thought, yes, like that movie deserves it. That is a great horror movie. That is a great Wes Craven movie. And I just want to put this movie over. So basically the plot of this movie is you've got this landlord couple, and they are just terrorizing the underclass. They are trying to just get rid of them so they could destroy these apartments and put up new condominiums. Probably, pretty racist people. They don't flat out say it, but it's an undertone message that Wes was trying to convey about what was going on in society at the time. This was the early 90s. I mean, there was a lot of social issues going on at the time. There always is, but during the early 90s, there's a lot going on. And this movie takes place through the point of view of mostly this young kid, and he goes by Fool, but he also is named Dexter, Poindexter, which when I was watching the movie and I remembered his name, I was like, I don't know, I think I'd rather go by Fool than Poindexter anyway. And he's a good, sweet kid, and he's got a sister that's trying to take care of his mom. The mom is dying of cancer. They can't afford to get health care to cover for her, so the mom is basically a sitting duck just waiting to die, and it's really sad. His older sister was from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, so I loved seeing her in here. And she has what seems to be kind of this boyfriend kind of partner, and he's like, we need to get these people. These people deserve to be robbed. They don't care about us, so why don't we just go ahead and get one up on them before they get one up on y'all, because they're going to put you in the streets. So they get ready to rob these people, and the one thing I loved about this movie right from the start is the house that they're living in. Their house is this big, beautiful, black, Addams Family looking home, and it's padlocked, it's gated, and when the kid goes up to kind of survey the house, he sees that there's locks on the windows, there's locks on the doors, and I want to say right off the bat, I think the best performance in this movie, quite frankly, was the redheaded mother of the house. You've got the mother, the father, and those two people were from the show Twin Peaks, and they were both great in that show, and they come together for this movie, which was something that the casting director actually researched and said, hey, when the mother, the redheaded woman, I forget her name, but she's brilliant in this movie, when she got the part for the role, basically, they said, hey, where's so-and-so from Twin Peaks? So he got the call, and they're a couple. They're a couple in the movie, and she is by far, I think, the best performance because she is just crazy. She's that crazy redhead, and this couple is they're that really overtly cult, weird religious type, and they have a daughter that is, you could tell, is abused big time by these parents, and she is just under their morbid control. And by the name of the title, you see that these people have people. This couple have people under the stairs, and that element is really cool in this house. It's really spooky. You see the hand giving the fork back to the daughter. The daughter's friendly to the people under the stairs because they're trapped. They're locked under there. They live under there. They live in darkness. They live in turmoil. And while all this is going on, you've got the young kid fool with the guy that's kind of dating the sister. They're getting inside of the house trying to get this gold that they know about so they can make some money and pay for the cancer treatment for the mom and all that. So there's a lot of elements going on in People Under the Stairs, but they all come together, I think, and blend very well and tell this really interesting story. This movie gets really awesome, basically, as it goes along. The intensity goes up throughout the movie. The performances are fantastic in The People Under the Stairs, and I'm just a big fan of this movie. I think that this was a great start of the 90s for Wes, and it's interesting. The older I get, the more I appreciate some of these other movies more than his bigger films like Scream. I know Scream is a cult fan favorite, and I would never deny its impact and what it's done. But I really prefer these kind of movies from Wes. I really prefer the Serpent and the Rainbows. I really prefer the People Under the Stairs as I've gotten older, more so than his mainstream movies like Scream. Scream is amazing, don't get me wrong. I dig these kinds of movies. I actually think that the People Under the Stairs would be a great double feature with Candyman. I think that would be a great double feature to go. They kind of go. They both have the, that inner city kind of African American vibe to them, and they both are really great films. I think you could start with People Under the Stairs and then segue into Candyman. That'd be an amazing double feature. All great character-driven movies, and I just love this movie. I think it did really well when it came out, and I think it's a Wes Craven classic for sure. I love The People Under the Stairs. So I just really wanted to talk about this movie. I never talked about it much before. I think it's great. I think it's really entertaining. I think you can take something away from the film. It's a movie that has a little bit of a political message. It has a little bit of an undertone of a social message. And the thing about those kinds of movies is I'm all for that as long as it's movie and story first. Unfortunately, you had movies kind of like Black Christmas 2018 or 19. I forgot what year. Maybe it was 2019. Where, if you're a fan of the movie, I would never deny your fandom for the movie, but, I think we're getting to a point now that's kind of concerning when you have movies that are putting out a message above the story of a movie first, and that's what I felt kind of happened with that. But back then, that really wasn't the case. Like, movies like this really were able to do it well. I mean, George Romero was doing it in the 70s. He had things that he was talking about consumerism and Dawn of the Dead and things like that. And this is a great movie that does it very well. It's a movie with the underlying tone of a message that Wes was conveying, which most directors do that anyway. Larry Cohen did it. So this is a great example of a movie like that. You can take something away from it, and I think that's brilliant. I think that's great. So People Under the Stairs, I think, is a bona fide Wes Craven classic, and I love it. It could be top 5 Wes for me. I'd have to think long and hard about my top 5 Wes Craven films, but this is certainly a contender. I love it. So The People Under the Stairs is a great early 90s flick from Wes, and I love it. Now, the Scream Factory Blu-ray, I think it's still available. It's a great release, great interviews. This was when Scream Factory was really hardcore on getting their special features done, because I think this came out in 2015 or 15 or 16, and great interviews with basically half of the cast, the special features people, Robert Kurtzman, Howard Berger, Greg Nicotero, all those guys, the composers in here. So this is a great Blu-ray. If you don't have this, People Under the Stairs, I highly recommend it. The Blu-ray release is great. The transfer is magnificent. What a great film. I love this film. I'm so glad I revisited it. It's been quite some time. So happy birthday, Wes. We miss you, man. And this year we celebrated you with People Under the Stairs. Love you, brother. Hopefully we'll see you again someday.